I am speaking with Samantha Bailey Jensen, who is the co-director of Bailey Print Group. How are you, Samantha?
I'm great, Caroline. How are you today?
I'm fantastic speaking with you today, and I must say you've just given me an amazing, impressive tour of your new home here at Salisbury.
Yes.
And and you're a finalist in the Brisbane Mayor Business Awards,
Yes.
Which tomorrow night you'll be,
We're attending the dinner,
yeah.
the gala dinner, which will be very exciting.
Oh, very exciting!
Yes.
And you could be the winner, which
Could
will
be one of four
One of
businesses that have been chosen. So
Yeah.
I feel really honoured because when we look at the other companies that have been selected, it's a pretty prestigious company to be surrounded by. So just it's an enormous achievement for us to be there this year.
Well, I think with all the years that obviously you've been, operating, which I would love you to tell us a little bit about Bailey Print Group, and also how COVID affected you, and that you obviously had to, do a whole new game changer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's been an extraordinary year, as it has been for everybody.
Yeah.
But this week we celebrated our 35th birthday in business. So again, another massive achievement.
Massive.
So my parents started the business. We started it from our dining room table in the family home 35 years ago. We then graduated to an office underneath the house for some years. Then we outgrew that space. So it's my mother, my father, and then when my brother finished school, he joined the team as well. Then we moved over to South Brisbane, where I think we were there for about, must have been about 20 years in a space over there. Then we moved to East Brisbane, into a bigger space again. And then this year, this is the last month, we've moved from East Brisbane out to Salisbury. So yeah, we've moved, sad to leave the city, but just escalating business costs in the city now. And on top of everything that's happened this year, we really had to. It was always earmarked that we were looking for somewhere to move to, but everything that happened with this year, it pushed the button, and we were kind of, let's go, let's move, and see what we can. Let's go and make a new home and a new beginning for ourselves.
Yeah. Well, I think you must be very happy with this new, wonderful home here.
Yes.
I truly, I've seen, the overlay of, all your equipment. It's so impressive. You've got
thank you.
millions of dollars of
impressive
print.
We would be one of the largest large format print houses in Brisbane. I work with my brother, so we're the co-directors here of the business now. So our parents have officially retired. So this space has actually been the first time we've been able to put our own stamp and our own footprint on the place. So this is the way my brother Peter and I want the business to be. So we've had a lot of arguments and a lot of fun and a lot of planning going into it on who's getting what and what's important and things like that. But it's all part of the journey. So I'm very lucky to be able to work with my brother. We're very yin and yang, so we support each other really well. So it's a very fortunate situation to work with you, be able to work with your family. It's a unique chemistry to have had to work so long with them. Working with your parents can be challenging.
Absolutely.
Can be very challenging.
I always say,
family.
that's the most challenging.
Yes, absolutely. It can be quite difficult over the dining room table on the weekend sometimes, not to slip into work and bring challenges from work into your personal life. But we've managed to work around that. So we're still a happy family.
That's great. Well, there's probably another 35 years.
Yes.
Probably. You'll probably footstep.
Yes, well, some of our children are talking about that they would like to be in the business as when their chance comes. So who knows? Yeah. After 2020, nothing is for certain anymore.
Well, exactly. And 2020, tell us about the COVID and how much damage did it do to you?
Yeah, well, life we were off to a great start for 2020. We work in a lot of the event space, so major events with banners, event signage. We had also just secured the contract to go to Tokyo and do the Australian Olympic and Paralympic athletes village work. So we had everything ready to go, and obviously COVID put a dampener on that, so that was really disheartening. Then when the country basically came to shut down, we just fielded call after call after call for about 3 days of, it was, I don't even like to think about it anymore. I think it was something over $300,000 business just went up in smoke virtually overnight. And then we were like, okay, what do we do now? What do we do now? What do we do now? And we walked around and what do we do now? And then I was sitting there watching the morning news one day, and there was Gladys Berejiklian standing there saying, we need PPE. We need Australian companies to stand up and help us with PPE because there's a shortage coming out of China. We can't get it. And I was like, right, we must be able to do something with that. We've got technology. We know how to use PETG, which a lot of PPE is made out of. So I came into the office and grabbed the boys and I said, okay, what can we do? How can we do this? So they were all a bit, what, you want to make face shields? And I'm like, yep, let's have a go. So we prototyped, we drew, we Googled what was happening around the world. So we came up with this first design here, which was your typical face visor, which was your standard face visor that everyone is traditionally available. So we started producing those. We took a punt. We heard people saying there was no PPE. My brother and I looked at each other and were like, did we do this? We came up with a design. We had a plastic surgeon that we took our designs out to. He tried it on with his staff and he said, yep, this works, this is good, we can function with it. He was interested in them. So we were like, right, let's take a punt and see what happens. So we ended up investing $8,000 in PETG. We were like, we don't have $8,000 right now, but let's do it and see what happens. And then we don't work in the healthcare space, so I didn't really know how to tackle approaching hospitals or anything like that. So just did the old-fashioned cold call, just rang hospitals and things, and was kind of getting nowhere. Spoke to a couple of people and they're like, oh yeah, maybe. And then we still made the shields. Nothing was really happening. My brother and I looked at each other and said, okay, today's the day we're going to have to stand everybody down. And we were like, oh my God, this is going to be the worst thing ever. We've never had to let anybody go. And my mother turned around to us and said, we've never let anybody go in our 30 odd years of business. Make sure it doesn't happen on your watch. And my brother and I are looking at each other going, yes, a pandemic. Have you worked under a pandemic conditions before? So that was some added pressure. But as that day came, when we were about to let everybody go, I got a call at 11 o'clock from Caroline over at the PA hospital, and she said, I'll take 1,000 shields. And I was like, really? And she goes, yep, can you get them here? How fast can you get them? And I said, I'll give you 500 tomorrow and I'll give you 500 the next day. And she was like, brilliant. So we delivered the first 500 on the Thursday before Good Friday. And when I delivered them to her that afternoon, she rang me that night and she said, I've had staff in tears crying that these are like gold to us, because she said, we have no PPE. She said, don't believe what you hear that the government is telling you, there is no PPE. So she said, these are priceless. Then they rang again, they said, take another 1,000. So we were like, okay. And then so that gave us a bit of a confidence boost. So I just kept hitting the phones. I just kept ringing hospitals all around Queensland and started to made some connections in with Queensland Health. And through, I think it was on Easter Sunday, I had been working all through the Easter holidays there, trying to, find out how you get connected into the government and all these, multi-layers of government there. And then I hit the right girl and we cut a deal for 20,000 shields on Easter Sunday and we were back in business. So she gave us 6 weeks to turn around 20,000 shields. We turned them around in 4.5 weeks. So we were working 22 hours a day, 6 days a week, or nearly, 6 days a week. We had 2 shifts going, so it would ensure that staff wouldn't pass each other, so there was no chance of anyone getting infected. And so we were an essential service, so we could keep going. So that fundamentally saved us. We then also, at the same time, I set up a e-commerce shop. Again, something I'd never really done before. Did that and was just inundated with beauty therapists, nurses, doctors, just ordering face shields because, again, they didn't have any protection, so they were just buying it themselves. And and I had some very sad stories of doctors ringing me and telling me what was actually happening out there. So it was really beautiful to know that we were doing something not only to help our staff and keep them all employed, but helping the community in this time of need in Australia.
Yeah.
So that was really good. So then after we designed the first one, we were kind of like, well, what else can we do? So then we designed the second shield, which is called an inverse shield. So it's an inverted shield, so which goes this way.
Wow.
So this offers protection from here up for people. So this has been very popular for anaesthetists, gastroenterologists, people who get splashed this way. So we've had some great support in the Brisbane community from some high-profile doctors and anaesthetists who've really come on board with that. So we've even shipped some to New Zealand. So we've shipped to every state in the country, and even a couple over to New Zealand. So that fundamentally kept us going all through that really heavy downtime. We're coming on the upside now. So we're starting to be back to our traditional work and back in the event space and signage and vehicle graphics and things like that, wallpapers, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's good to be back to where we are, but we have submitted a number of tenders and applications to wanting to keep manufacturing PPE because we think it's important that it's made in the country where our business is always focused on manufacturing in Australia. That ethos of employing local, buying local, supporting local runs very strong through our DNA, and we wanted to, really to be keeping the sovereign manufacturing going in this country. So it's been a very hard fight, because the China supply is back on. So people's memory is very short, and they're like, well, I can get this for $1 and you want $2 for it. So they're like, no. But, we've still had a couple of companies have, said, no, we want to buy it because it's Australian and we want to support business who supported us, through these times.
Great. Well, that's an amazing achievement, of being able to, tap into something to survive in the COVID,
Well, it was do or die.
It was.
It was do or die.
How many staff do you have?
We've got a staff of 12, and our staff are our family. A lot of our staff, some of our staff have been here for over 20 years with us. So they are all family to us. Everyone's a long-termer. So all I could think about was, my God, if I have to let them go, then it's their families who are not going to have food on the table. All that kind of thing, the flow-on effect, and it's a really kind of heavy burden to carry. But you want to look after those who've looked after us and help us all the time as well. I've got a beautiful team who are always there, and we just get in and we just make stuff happen. We're not about big noting ourselves or anything. We just get in, and as one of our clients says, she says, you always make magic happen. So that's what we do.
That's fantastic, Samantha. Well, I've got to say, I'm just thrilled of your story, and you're the mothership of this outfit.
Yes.
And it was just beautiful to hear, of your continuance and the survival, and the fact that your care and being able to contribute to the COVID with a quality mask that is, I'd say, that will keep going for you, and you'll keep expanding the business from the new home.
Yes, so we're looking forward to our new journey through our new building. We've got lots of new opportunities and new markets to explore now. Yeah. So we're looking forward to 2021 like everybody else is.
Excellent.
Yes.
Well, thank you. Wish you all the best for tomorrow night.
Thank you.
And thank you for talking to Hush Hush Biz
Thank you very much,
and
Karen.
Ocean Road Magazine.
Thank you.
Thank you.